Hey guys, we are here in Coulterville, California. This is one of the mining towns along the Sierra Nevada. And since the 4th of July and the pandemic is still ongoing, we tried to isolate ourselves as far as we could. So we went to this small town. Okay, let's explore the history and some things to see here. Let's go! Coulterville, or formerly Maxwell's Creek, is a census-designated place in Mariposa County, California in the United States. An authentic California gold rush town during its heyday, and it was a major gold mining and supply center. Coulterville remains filled with historic buildings and memories of the 49ers. It all started when George and Margaret Coulter traveled by covered wagon from Pennsylvania to California in 1849. Learning that the large number of placer miners seeking their fortunes in the three local creeks had to travel 30 miles over rough trails to get supplies, Coulter purchased a large supply of merchandise and opened business in a large blue canvas tent, over which he conspicuously flew the American flag. The tent soon became a landmark to the nearly 2,000 miners in the area, and they called the place Banderita, or Little Flag. In 1852, the discovery of gold caused the community to grow rapidly. Hard rock mining kept the town thriving as placer gold grew scarce. On March 5, 1872, the name of the town was changed to Coulterville to honor its founder. The lure of gold drew miners from around the world. During the gold rush, Coulterville boasted of 9 nationalities with a population estimated at over 5,000. Chinatown had an estimated population of over 1,000. The Sun Wu Company store built of adobe in 1851 is all that remains of that area of town. The town was plagued by both fire and flood. In 1862, a major flood wreaked havoc with all buildings located along the creek destroyed or heavily damaged. Large portions of the town burned in 3 major fires, each occurring in July, exactly 20 years apart: 1859, 1879, and 1899. It also boasted to have the crookedest railroad in the world, the original Whistling Billy locomotive. In the late 1800s, Coulterville became a popular stopover for Yosemite-bound tourists. They came by stagecoach and horseback and stayed overnight. The first paved route into Yosemite National Park ran through Coulterville, bringing the horseless carriage. This route via Coulterville, or Highway J-132, is still one of the shortest and most scenic ways to travel to Yosemite National Park. So we're walking around Coulterville. So now we know the history, let us visit some of the historic sites. Whistling Billy, an 8-ton Porter locomotive shipped around the Horn and brought to Coulterville in 1897 by mule team. Purchased by the Merced Gold Mining Company for $3,500. It ran on 30-inch gauge track and could haul up to 15 ore cars, each weighing 5 tons when loaded. Hangman's Tree. The town's tree was used to mete out frontier justice. One such infamous incident in which outlaw Leon Ruiz was hung in 1856 for killing and robbing 2 Chinese miners of $600 worth of gold. It indicates that the local Chinese population had sufficient political power to receive justice, uncommon in that era. Coulterville Hotel. This structure is a remnant of the hotel, which was never rebuilt after the last Great Fire of 1899. The original structure was built in 1882 by William McCarthy as a private residence. McCarthy bought the pharmacies and Wells Fargo agent built his house next to the building that housed both businesses. In 1894, the building was leased to Percy Davies, who added 2 stories and opened it as the Coulterville Hotel. Wells Fargo and McCarthy store. The building was built of brick in 1856. Nelson Cody, brother of Buffalo Bill Cody, was an agent in the 1870s, serving as postmaster. Beside the Wells Fargo office was McCarthy's pharmacy. This building is now part of the History Center with some of the original interiors used for displays. Bandstand. Originally a bandstand, over the years it was used as a poker parlor, a barber shop, and during World War II to spot airplanes. It was erected on the site where the current-day post office now stands and moved to its current site in the early 1900s. Barrett Blacksmith Shop. Originally a blacksmith shop, this building was later used as a garage and gas station and eventually a grocery store. Jail. Not very big, but effective. The cable from the Mary Harrison mine hoist was used for reinforcing the walls, making it quite escape-proof. E. Warren Store. This unique building was constructed in the 1870s or 1880s by E. Warren. There was a general store on the first floor and family living quarters on the second floor. The Knights of PTS held large meetings upstairs for several years. The building became an antique store in 1973. Restoration was completed in 2003. It continues to house the antique store on the ground floor, with the living quarters above, currently operated as a bed and breakfast. Powder House. Built in 1860 to house explosives used at the local gold mines. This is the only known powder house in the county where adobe materials were used. Due to explosions, very few remain standing today. Bruschi Brothers Warehouse. Originally built as a warehouse by the Bruschi brothers, it was converted to a general store when the other Bruschi stores burned down. The interior did not burn during the Great Fires because of the ceiling had several inches of dirt above it. Only the wooden shingle roof burned. One side served as a meat market, and the other half was used for general merchandise. Today, it houses a cafe and beauty salon. The Mint. The oldest record of ownership of this building was by Tom Harlow, who operated a blacksmith shop here prior to the fire of 1899. Rebuilt after the fire, it became a soft drink parlor and later a bar and restaurant named the 49 Club, becoming Brown's Leather and Clothing Shop until it was sold to Louis Milani, who owned it from 1936 to 44. Gazzolo Store. Built around 1860, it was originally 2 buildings. The right side housed a barber shop and post office with a clothing store on the left. After a fire in 1995 that gutted much of the interior, it was rebuilt as a single structure and now houses a thrift shop. Gazzolo Building. The first story of this building was constructed in the 1850s and houses a saloon.
Ice was hauled from Yosemite by wagon and stored in an ice room. The second store was added in 1899, originally as a Fandango hall.
Tried to redo this is the way it was in 1850.
Is it the same?
Not the bar is different. The bar is newer.
But the floor, the walls?
Everything else is the same.
Wow. So this used to be a dance hall, right? Or upstairs?
This was a bar.
Bar.
Mercantile. Let me show you. You see that thing there? That goes into the basement.
Okay, I see
That's
this.
where the Wells Fargo stagecoach used to drop off the booze and stuff, and they put it down there. Let me show you this. This is the reason I don't like this. It really pisses me off. Because when they put this in, they covered up that trap door. That goes into the basement as well.
Oh, did they know that you have a trapdoor down there?
They're stupid here. But what happened was that that trap door would retrieve the booze that they put in from there.
Yeah, it's easier.
Yeah, and the livery stable is still there. You can get down there through the livery stable, but I shut it off because, let's face it, people are stupid. They would fall into the hole and then they would sue me.
Oh, really? They do that? People do that?
Yeah, they would, yeah. Anyway, so this is the livery stable.
Even though it's their fault.
They would, this is where they used to keep the horses, in here. Same as it was.
So they go around in the back.
No, they would go in here.
And right here?
Yeah.
Oh.
You can see the upstairs is the dance floor. And I've got the hole covered up here. That's where that goes into the basement.
This one?
Yeah.
So there, yep.
Commissiona store. The main part of this building was built in the 1870s and was a general store operated by Mrs. Commissiona. Later, the Canova family operated the store until the 1940s. So we're walking around the not so busy street of Coulterville. It's quiet and it's nice, away from the city sounds and buzzing. Ellie's house. This building is believed to have been built shortly after the 1899 fire. It was a childhood home of Vince Ellis, a longtime resident and stage driver of Coulterville. IOOF building. Built of redwood after the 1899 fire, this building has always been an IOOF hall and is still used for large meetings and community events. Canova House. Both the residence of Giacomo Canova and also the site of Fitzgerald Merchandise Store. Built in the early 1860s, it was operated until 1917. The building housing the store was moved from the site to the rear after that and incorporated into the house. Canova Warehouse. The 3-foot thick walls of this building were constructed as keystone, mud and mortar by the Mexican stonemasons about 1870 and used by the Canova family until 1959. The Boardwalk. This building was originally a garage built in the 1930s by the Canova family. It housed the Coulterville fire truck before the present firehouse was built. Candy's Place. This building was used as a bordello by Candy, and it is said that the roses from the rose bush in front of the house were her trademark. Sun Sanwo Company Store. This building was constructed of adobe in 1851 and was continuous use as a general store until about 1920. The store served as a wide area and not just a local Chinatown. All documents show the existence orders were placed by the surrounding ranchers and miners.
Some ranches even had direct telephone lines to the store in later years, now operated as a gift store. The original shelves and counters are still in use. It is one of the earliest Gold Rush buildings and one of the last adobe structures left. Site of the Qing Cemetery. The island husk, or tree of heaven, trees grow in profusion here. The seeds of these trees were brought here by the Chinese and planted in areas considered friendly and safe to them. Grenfell House, built in the 1870s, it was named of Ed Grenfell, Coulterville's postmaster from 1908 through 1928. Harlow House. This was originally the home of the Harlow family. The Harlows owned and operated a livery stable nearby. Yosemite Garage. Built in 1915 by Dimitri Bruschi, this building was used as a stage stop and then as a garage for the first Model A tour buses en route to Yosemite. It also served as the headquarters for the Division of Highways, and in 1933, it was the first headquarters for the Northside California Division of Forestry. It now houses the Tom Jenkins VFW Post and Canteen. Sample Family Home. Originally built as a residence, this building later became Sample's rooming house. After that, it became Holland's grocery store. It is now the Culver Cafe and General Store.
So she ordered vanilla milkshake. Well, I got the milk. Unfortunately, Coulterville Cafe closes at 3. They stop serving till at 3 p.m. So we only got 3. But it's alright.
Bruschi Store. Built in 1860 by Francisco Bruschi, this building was used as the family's first home and housed their bakery. The original walls of the schist and mud still survive. Okay, audio.
Flies, terrible flies, and I just let it dry.
Johnny High Saloon. The High family arrived in 1849 and Johnny High operated the saloon here. Like the shops on either side, the structure is protected against fire by the layer of dirt in the ceiling. Cigar store. Over the years, this shop has had many occupants including a candy store, goldsmith, and a cigar store. Old post office. Once Alex Guerra's barber shop, this building was later the home of the Coulterville post office and is now the location of the North County Visitor Center and Chamber of Commerce office. Chinese laundry. Used as a storeroom for the Magnolia Room for many years, this room was originally a Chinese laundry. Cafe. A general store in 1896, this building was later used as a cafe. Magnolia Saloon. Part of the Hotel Jeffrey, the saloon with the polished bar and batwing store houses displays of historical interest, an untouched example of early day saloons, one of the oldest saloons in continuous operation in California. Hotel Jeffrey. Originally a Mexican structure built of rock and adobe, the 30-inch walls date back to 1851. It was rebuilt in 1903 after a fire. The Old Schoolhouse. Constructed in 1917 and was used as a schoolhouse until 1967. It is presently used as a community center and meeting place with community breakfast served on the second Sunday of every month. Public Cemetery. George and Margaret Coulter are buried in the center of this historic cemetery, just above the oak tree. Grave markers also display the names of many Coulterville pioneer families, including the Buccis, Cuneos, Fisk, Relays, Murphys, Musantis, and many others. The cemetery has been in continuous use since the 1850s. Musanti House. Now a private residence, this house is a beautiful example of earlier Victorian architecture. The lovely rock gardens were constructed by John Musanti, who also directed the construction of the ornate rock works that are seen in the Yosemite Valley. James Gazulu House. This house was built by James for his mother around the year 1900. Coulter House. Now a private residence, this neo-colonial home was built in 1857 by George Coulter.
So we're following this. This is the town map of the historical places here. Unfortunately, they're not all accurate, such as this number. I believe it's number 20 something in the brochure, but here it's 32. So you have to be careful. Hey guys, so that sums up our exploration around Coulterville and seeing some of the historical sites in the town. Until next time, don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. Bye! like our videos, please click thumbs up for like.
Hit the bell to subscribe!
Please comment.
And don't forget to share!